It is not often that a death with seemingly no signs of homicide would ring more alarms and raise more questions pertaining to the larger investigation and leave people in an ocean of doubt. In today's episode, we delve deeper into the curious case of Peter Bergmann, a man who seemingly came into being just 4 days before his lifeless body would be discovered lying face down on the beach. 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
Hey guys, hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode. For this week, we're gonna have Akmal doing it. So take the stage. Stage is all
Yeah,
yours.
well, from the get-go, I'm gonna just say that this is one of the weirdest cases I've encountered, and I've watched like a lot of true crime, not gonna lie, and this is one of the weirdest things. Because the thing about this one is that the mystery really isn't at the end. Like,
Okay.
the mystery isn't what happened to him. It's more about who was he. Let's just get into it.
It's intriguing.
On the morning of 16th June 2009, on Ross's Point Beach, Sligo County, Ireland, the body of an old man is found lying face down in the sand by father and son Arthur and Brian Kinsella. The tide was out that morning, and as Arthur Kinsella came onto the beach, he caught sight of something unusual to his right. He knew Ross's Point Beach intimately from many morning expeditions. He went closer to an unfamiliar object not far away from the slipaway, close to the rocks. Quote, "It was the body of a person, and he appeared to have drowned and was lying face downwards on the sand. He looked about 65, I thought. We walked around the body just to make sure that he was dead, and I actually placed my hand on his ankle, and it was marble cold." The man is identified as Peter Bergmann. Peter Bergmann was this tourist who came onto Sligo County on Friday, 12th June 2009. He's described as tall, lanky, and old, with a strong Germanic accent. He boarded a bus in Derry Terminal and very explicitly and clearly asked to go to Sligo. Later that day, after he arrives to Sligo, he hails a cab and, with no destination in mind, asks for a cheap place to stay. The cab driver first takes him to Cushkin Lawn at first, but it was fully booked for that weekend. Sligo City
No,
Hotel,
it's okay.
where he secures a walk-in reservation with the name Peter Bergmann, with two N's at the end, so it's Bergmann. And the address, Anstettersen, 15 4472 Vienna. And he paid in cash for a 3-night stay. Okay, so that's sort of normal.
Does
Okay.
he state his reason for the visit?
No, he didn't. And okay, this is not even the insane part of this case. It just gets wackier and wackier. And it really, really it's really sad also. The following day, Saturday the 13th of June, he went into the post office and bought stamps, and he used them to post a few letters. Authorities have never been able to establish where or to who these letters were posted, but he obviously seemed to have correspondence with family or friends somewhere. During his stay at Sligo, he has been seen multiple times on CCTV throughout the county. He seemed to frequently leave the hotel with a purple plastic bag and would always return without them. Bergmann is often described as quiet in his visit to Sligo. He didn't really communicate with anyone and mostly kept to himself. During his stay at the Sligo Hotel, he was described as a familiar face around the hotel on the weekend and often had breakfast at the hotel. He would gesture to the receptionist and would frequently be in and out of the hotel, purple bag in hand. So the purple bag is like the key word in this paragraph. Like,
Figured.
yeah. And I'll get back to it on that later. One day during his visit at the Steiger Hotel, one of the cleaning girls couldn't get into his room. She informed a member of staff who knocked on his door. When she didn't get a reply, she, quote, opened the door and walked in. As I walked in, I knew I startled him. He was standing inside the door. He froze and he looked at me. It wasn't that kind of a startled look. It was nearly like I caught him doing something he shouldn't be doing. Whether he was expecting somebody or something, I don't know. But he was relieved that it was me, a member of staff. Uh, mm, that seems really suspicious, right? And sort of later.
Because like the whole motive here,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's like trying to blend in or actually like try to stand out and make everyone like everyone's red lights to just go on,
Mm-hmm.
because this guy is setting up that sort of vibe, like
Yeah,
the suspicious letters. This guy
yeah.
practically doesn't even have an identity.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's what it
Now,
seems like.
on the morning of Sunday, the 14th of June, Bergman hailed a taxi and asked where he could find a quiet beach. The taxi driver told him Ross's Point Beach was the quietest and he proceeded to take him there. When he arrived, he got out of the taxi and looked around at the beach. The driver described him as looking contempt and then asked to take him back to the hotel. So it looks like he's like screening the area for something, right?
Yes.
He seems really suspicious. And I should just keep going, man. On the on the morning of Monday, the 15th of June, Peter made a request for a late checkout as he had some errands to run. Shortly afterwards, he is seen on CCTV exiting the Sligo City Hotel carrying three bags: a purple plastic bag, a black laptop bag, and a black hold all. He made his way to the Sligo City bus terminal where he is seen loitering for a while in front of the buses, but his black hold all bag is missing. He enters the coffee shop at the bus station and orders a cappuccino and a sandwich. When he sat down to have his breakfast, he appears to take a note from his pocket and is seen writing something on it. He then proceeds to tear up the paper and dispose of it in the bin. The paper is never recovered and its contents remain a mystery.
I'm kind of like trying to figure it out in my head. He's the victim, right? The dead body, right?
Let's just keep going, man. Later that day, Peter boards a bus and asks for a one-way ticket to Ross's Point Beach. On the beach, witnesses describe Peter as out of place and out of time due to his professional attire of a black leather jacket and trousers. Peter walked parallel to the water at the beach with a newspaper under his arm and his trousers rolled up to his knees. He wore no footwear and walked in ankle deep water across the shore. He walked with his hands behind his back and looked a bit stooped as if he was in another world. Peter is last seen alive by a young couple taking a walk at the beach. The couple described their exchange with Peter whilst passing by him. Quote, he didn't really say anything to us. We said hello and he just nodded back. He didn't say anything else. End quote. The next day, he was found lying face down on the beach. When medical examiners conducted an autopsy on Peter's body, they found that Peter showed no signs of drowning, but something even more peculiar was discovered. Peter suffered from terminal prostate cancer and showed signs of previous heart attacks. There was no evidence of foul play or drowning, so it was ruled as death by natural causes, likely due to the prostate cancer. Even more bizarrely, when medical examiners conducted a toxicology report, they found no traces of any painkillers or drugs for the treatment of his cancer. The clothes found on his body had their labels cut out. When Sligo County authorities inquired about the address that Peter had given to the hotel at the check in with the Vienna police, they were informed that the address Einstettersen 154472 Vienna had not existed in a long time and is currently a vacant lot. When they investigated into the identity of Peter Bergmann, they found no passports issued to a male that fit Peter's description anywhere in mainland Europe, America, or South America. Police believe that the man used Peter Bergmann as an alias and might have even faked his Germanic accent.
What's the name of this case?
Peter Bergmann.
So, no suspects, nothing. It's just a mysterious death.
It's not really mysterious. They kind of know it's just prostate cancer. The weird thing is that he hasn't been taking any like painkillers or drugs. Now that could be because he himself didn't know.
Didn't anyone like come forward and claim him or something like?
No one came forward. No, nothing. None of that happened.
Damn,
which is weird though. And those plastic bags, like, so.
What was in that purple one?
Yeah, the purple ones. He would like periodically throughout his stay at the Sligo City Hotel, he would just leave with the plastic bags, and there were like CCTVs all over the county. Okay, and whenever he would return to the hotel, he didn't have the plastic bags on hand, and it was pretty obvious he was disposing of something with those plastic bags. Now, what that could be? The police, they believe that it was like personal items, so his clothes, his passports or whatever documents. But also there's some people who believe like it was just like a sort of a gimmick, like he would leave with the plastic bag, and then wherever he knew that the CC. And the funny thing was, like, he's never been here before. Like, the weird thing is that he's never been to Sligo before, but somehow he has like this intimate knowledge of wherever the CCTV cameras are. And a lot of people believe like it was a gimmick, like the purple bag was just a gimmick. Now, why he would use it as a gimmick, their theory is like he would leave with the plastic bag, and then wherever he knew that the CCTV camera isn't like looking at him, he would just put the plastic bag back into his pocket. But we never found that plastic bag. Also, I mentioned that he went to the bus terminal with a black hold all bag, and he came back without the black hold all bag. So they never found that. They never found the, what's it called? The purple bag. I forgot if they found the black laptop bag. I don't think it was mentioned anywhere, but I don't think they found it either. Or if they did, it would probably be empty or just like more clothing. And he, what do you call it? He cut off the labels from his clothes, which is weird. You don't do that unless.
Wait, can we go back to that golden thing that was found on his ankle? Because I'm still trying to figure that out.
Golden thing?
Yeah, in the beginning when the people found him dead.
I said, that's when the guy, he touched his ankle, right? Just to make sure he's dead.
Yeah.
Marble cold. It was really cold. That's what he said.
Oh, cold. I heard gold.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. So, a guy just turns up into a country. Has never been there before.
Yeah. How did he get into the country? That's what I want to know. How did he get?
I mean,
he doesn't have a passport. He doesn't have, his name doesn't check out anywhere.
He forged everything.
Basically, he didn't forge anything, Rasha. He didn't forge anything. He doesn't have any sort of real identity. This address is made up. Yeah, he forged that. But, and also the address is sort of weird because it's a vacant lot and it hadn't existed for a long time. And I heard this very interesting theory online is that, like, the address was used before. I mean, Peter Bergmann used that address before. Whoever he really was, that person, he used to live in that address or some sort of relation he had with the address. And so that's how he, on the fly, sort of gave that address at the check-in for the hotel. I mean, that's an interesting theory. A lot of people just speculated that he was just some guy. He had terminal cancer and what's it called, like heart attacks, and yeah, he just wanted to die peacefully. It was sort of weird. No one like came forward and said like that's our guy.
Maybe he had no kids, or actually no.
But why the letters? Where did they go? They never found those either. Or was that also?
Maybe he wrote them to a dead person. That's, I mean, think of it. No one could even track down those letters. Like, I'm pretty sure they had post offices back then, and you
Yeah,
like
they did.
literally write down the addresses and everything. I don't know. The cancer probably messed up his system really bad. But then I still don't get it. Why go to a country you have no idea existed and act all suspicious? Like,
Yeah,
this is a weird case.
yeah, it is.
So the police basically ruled out that
He wasn't
his cancer
killed.
killed him.
Yeah, it was his cancer most likely. Natural causes. He didn't drown either, so.
And they did nothing to like track him down.
Of course, they did something. They sent out. I'm not sure exactly, but in the media it was all. This is a pretty big case back in 2009, at least in Ireland. I want to dissect this a bit more because I think when I was initially like covering this case, I got that vibe of like an informant of some kind or an agent, you know, and he's like using these plastic bags to, I don't know, dispose of more sinister things like drugs or something even.
No, I don't think this guy did drugs. It doesn't appeal to me like that. I mean, those bags could be anything.
I don't think he did drugs. I'm not saying that he did drugs.
Exactly.
Because in the toxicology report, they didn't find anything notable. They didn't even find any painkillers. So I don't think he did any of that. But he could be distributing drugs. Okay.
Person that's diagnosed with like cancer, I don't think they want to go down like that.
I heard a very like wacky, wild theory, which is like, you know, ricin?
No.
Anybody who's watched Breaking Bad knows ricin. But it's this it's a what you call it, man? It's a poison. Yeah, it's a poison. That's the word I was looking for. So it's this poison that like when you give it to someone, unless like they know that they took it in, there's no way of telling that that guy died of ricin. So you could do any toxicology report and everything. I'm not sure, but back in 2009, like it was completely impossible to tell if somebody was like poisoned of ricin. And plus, he looked awkward at the beach. Formal attire, all of that jazz. It was completely late at night and he's still at the beach. Isn't that weird? And plus, nobody.
I would be in the beach.
No, but it's completely late at night. Like you're doing the weirdest thing, which is like leather jacket on.
Common. Okay, the leather jacket just doesn't explain it, but.
You know what I think it is? I think it was the mafia or something. I think he was in something deep.
Oh my god. I ruled that one out.
He distributes drugs and then something messes up, or he got evidence on him. He got some evidence on like some people.
He's just running away from something.
Yeah, exactly, and he just gets caught at night. But then, if he's running away, I don't think he's running away. I think my theory is wrong then. Because if he's running away, why stay in one place? And why expose yourself at night in the middle of the beach? Like,
maybe he was in disguise. His entire identity was fake.
It is, man.
And
because
that place,
check out anywhere. Sligo County.
That place must mean something to him. No, the fake address.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Amsterdam.
if he's told it twice, that place is somehow connected to him. I wish the police looked into that.
Yeah. I think so too. Because it wasn't like if you make up an address and then like somebody said that address does not exist at all, then that's he made that up. But this address existed one time before.
Maybe he grew up there, like as
something. Yeah, it must mean something that he used that address. Or maybe he just knew it was a vacant lot because he lived in Vienna. He knew it was a vacant lot and he just used that. So if they found his body and they'd be like, oh snap, okay, let's see the address, use the address, and they use it turns out it's a vacant lot, so that's a dead end.
Don't they have like a system on these people?
I just want to like highlight the fact that this guy made every effort to seem absolutely just
anonymous.
anonymous, conspicuous. Like he made every effort.
I don't know, I still can't settle with this. Like, I don't know, something just doesn't feel right about this. Like, nothing about it feels right, honestly.
Yeah. You know, there's some really chilling CCTV footage of this guy just walking around the county and the hotel.
I honestly don't want to watch that because I'm
Yeah.
probably going to end up having
And there's also
nightmares.
a photo of his face when they found him dead. So
I
they
don't know.
like
Yeah.
they take a photo of you,
I
right?
don't get why people do that.
No,
Like, I get it, you do
not
it for
on the
like
beach.
police work and everything.
Yeah, for the police work, they took a photo of him, and I saw that photo.
But you don't need to publish it.
Nah, they published it because
imagine people in
somebody
the morning
identifies him.
going through the newspaper and then they're just seeing a dead person's face. Like, way to go and spoil their morning.
I mean, there's so much CCTV footage of this guy online.
I bet he like stares back at the camera.
Yeah. Now more than ever.
Wait, for real?
What? Yeah, bro.
Creepy.
If you see the CCTV footage, it's 100% obvious that this guy knows exactly where every camera is. Just the way he looks around and the way he conducts himself when the camera is there.
Yeah, but then if he knew where all the cameras were located.
I mean, that's
he must have had the city map or something. Or like he just targeted every public place there is.
What do you mean?
Like all public places, like the train station, the bus station, I don't know, like all
But
of that.
Even then, like how would you know that they're...
He had a map. He should have had a guide if he's never been there before.
Okay, like it's...
can they confirm the fact that he's never been there before?
Yeah, he's never been there before. I mean, no, I
What
don't
if
think
he
they could
has
confirm,
as a kid?
I don't think they could confirm that fact that he has never ever been there before. Okay.
See.
But at least in recent memory, he's not been there. Nobody recognized him when he came.
Maybe as a kid.
Maybe
he had a happy memory there and came back there and acted all suspicious for no absolute reason and died. Does that make sense? It doesn't.
Nah. I feel like, because it's not a big town, it's not a huge town, it's a pretty small town. I feel like someone would recognize him. Most of the people there sound like they've been living there their entire lives. So if he had been there before, it must have been like way when he was really young, like I'd say less than 15 years old. Otherwise, he'd be recognized 100%. And also, like, okay, it's not the most genius thing to know where each CCTV camera is, okay? But this guy knew exactly where the blind spot for the CCTV cameras are. You know that theory I said, right? Where he would just use that as a gimmick, the purple bags, and he would just roll it back into his pocket?
Yes.
It's just a theory because they've never been able to catch this guy even putting it back into his pocket. All they've seen is this guy with the thing and without the thing. Nothing in between. They never found the bags. They never found the hold all bag, which is... I think if they found it, then it would be the biggest clue, but they haven't found that. They haven't found the purple bags. I'm not sure.
Did they find anything when he was found dead?
They found the clothing he had on. I think the clothing he had on. That's about it.
So nothing in the pockets.
I'm really not sure what happened to the laptop bag. He could have thrown it out into the ocean.
I don't get how he was found in the ocean, like near the ocean.
Okay, so I think what happened to the laptop bag was that he threw it away. Like he threw it into the ocean and it just drifted away. And I think that's also what happened to
on it?
I'm not sure because they never
was
found
on it.
They never found any of the things, man.
Yeah, but what do you think could have been on it?
Personal belongings.
Why would he hide that?
Because he doesn't want to be found.
He's a dying man, basically, right? And then he acts all...
Why does it matter him?
Be Batman? I don't get it, man.
So much? Why does that, like, not being found matter to him so much? Or not being identified?
Exactly.
I think he went to the beach. This is also another theory that he died on the... He purposefully went to the beach because he knew his day was near. Or he knew he was going to die that day. Which is, again, really out there to know that you're going to die that specific day. Okay? And I think he just died on the beach. If he did it purposefully, he died on the beach so that he thought his body would like be drifted away into the ocean and never be found.
I don't know. This
Hi-
case just seems like whoa. And
I think
I just
'cause
can't
it's-
settle with the fact not knowing.
yeah, I don't think he knew that he was gonna die that day.
I thought you said he did. Like he
No,
had
no.
a feeling or something.
No. We don't know anything. It's all a theory, bro. I feel like this guy didn't die of terminal cancer or whatever he had. I don't think he died of that. Because it seems way too suspicious that he knew the day he would die.
But that's just a theory.
That's also a theory, yeah. What do you think it is?
I don't know. I feel
Came
like
to
I'm in a
Sligo.
crossroad.
Why do you think he came to Sligo?
I don't know. Either he had a connection to that place. I don't know. Like maybe there's something there. What if he was like on a mission there? Like not like an agent sort of thing, but like he was in search of something, but
why
failed.
Sligo? Like the most.
It's the thing, that place must mean something to him.
I'm gonna just say something now. It's the most boring looking place ever. No joke. It's just all white.
I don't think this guy is into scenery or something. I don't know.
No, there's not even that much good scenery.
He must know this place. Like it's like he studied it inside and out.
And the way he knew the place, the only explanation is
like at his age,
he's been there before.
Damn.
He's been there before. You can't tell a guy these type of things. You can't learn these things unless you've been there. Like the way he looked at the camera, it's very chilling if you look at those CCTV
I'm not
footage.
gonna look at those ever.
Yeah.
Then he did keep asking the taxi drivers and everyone places. I don't know, maybe that's just not.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
Ross's
just not
Point
even
Beach, it's
covered.
only like 4 miles from Sligo. So it's not far away. And if you live in Sligo, you should know that place.
I don't like cases like this. I don't know why. It just never settles in with me. Like,
have you heard of the, I think, Tamam Shud case?
Explain it a bit.
Yeah, it's almost exactly like this one. I'm not sure of the specifics.
Imagine the amount of cases, I guess.
It's not that many, and I don't think it'll be that many anymore. Because the day and age we live in, think about it, we're so connected, and yet, I mean, this is 2009, so, but I mean, there was Facebook back then, there was YouTube back then, but even still, like, there's no evidence that this guy even existed before he got into that Derry bus terminal. He got on the bus to Sligo. There's no evidence that he existed. I mean, obviously he existed, but there's no evidence of him existing. There's no like visas, passports, no issued documents to him. Nobody under his name. Nobody even like resembles him. They have his they got his fingerprints and his DNA
on the database. Yes.
Yeah, and
what
it didn't match with anyone. It didn't match with anyone. At least in Europe, I think it didn't match with anyone.
Oh my god.
It really is like he just popped into existence and
then popped out.
Yeah, but not so spectacularly when he popped out, but like popped in was just out of nowhere. But yeah, also the double N spelling of his name that implies Austrian, because in Austria that's how they spell the names over there, with double N's. So he gave an Austrian. I think so. It's a bit more planned than at first glance, because with that Austrian accent, because Austrians speak German, so that's why they have a German accent. The address in Vienna, which is in Austria, and the name.
Has this case gone cold or something?
I mean, it's gone.
Like, did everyone just stop after, like, I don't know, whatever it was last they did?
It's not like they didn't make an effort. The Sligo city,
yeah, but like, they just
there's no new evidence. No one's coming forward. Like, it's sort of clear cut that there's no real crime committed. If you think about it, he just died, and there's no evidence for homicide or anything. So
it's a he was a criminal, he'd have records, and then his fingerprint would have popped up.
Yeah, if he had been caught before. That's the thing.
Maybe he's, what do you call those people? Like a
Wanderer?
runaway.
A runaway? If you run away, then I
don't
think
know,
your
maybe
family would be looking for you. And if they see you on the news,
no,
then they would say something.
like when you
right?
have nobody, you're just like you just get away, like you just escape to a different country. You're like a fugitive, I guess.
Yeah, you have a point there. But then the letters, that could be a gimmick too. Those letters were never found.
Those letters don't make sense. Okay, if they couldn't even track someone down those through those letters, like they were fake. They were just for show. It has to be. I mean,
yeah, it could be.
I don't know what was going through this guy's mind.
What if he was just contemplating death? That's why he acted so weird and all of that.
That wouldn't make sense.
What also doesn't make sense to me is that why come to Sligo if you are dumping your personal property, why come to Sligo and do that?
I'm telling you, he has some sort of connection to this place and Austria. I don't know why Austria.
I mean,
maybe his parents are from Austria or something.
No, but listen, like, if he was throwing away personal property, right, you would think you would go to some, like, I don't know, some really secluded island, and then, I mean, not an island, but you would go to like a secluded place off a cliff, and over there you would fling your things off the cliff and then into the ocean, never to be found, right?
It's like a thing from the movies or something.
Yeah, or like take a bag, fill all your stuff in it, then put a few rocks in it, then throw it off the cliff. It's gonna sink to the bottom of the ocean, or it's gonna sink somewhere. No one's gonna look around, right? And then go to Sligo, do whatever you need, and then die over there. Why go to like this crowded area, okay, where you're? And it's funny that no one saw these like the plastic bags being thrown away or being put into his pocket or whatever. Nobody knew what the contents were inside because it was a pretty like opaque plastic. It's really intriguing, man. Someone would go to those lengths to not be found. He cut out the labels from his like clothes, man. Oof.
This guy must have never interacted with anyone in his entire life.
Yeah.
Dude, that's lovely. Like all those years, you've just isolated yourself. This guy must have been like a hell of a private guy. Like way too private, you know?
That's for sure.
I bet he lived in the middle of nowhere too before he came to this island.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Like, what is his motive here? Like, let me just freak some people out.
How did he get into the country?
And
That's
die.
my thing. How did he get into Ireland? Unless he is from Ireland. How did he get in?
No, he can't be Irish.
Because they found no passport, no nothing. No records, no, just nothing.
This was 2009. I'm pretty sure security must have been good. At least compared to
Yeah, that's like...
Maybe he just knew to blend in well there. I'm telling you, he must have just gotten into a plane, stuck to the cargo or something, and boom, you're in Ireland. There's no way in hell, unless he knew the camera is there too and escaped all of it.
I was watching a documentary on this one, and everybody just looked like just incredibly awestruck, when they saw just absolutely dumbfounded that the fact that they couldn't find who this guy is, especially the people in Sligo. Like it's a pretty quiet town. It's not like a big bustling city or anything, okay? And they're just really weirded out that something like this could happen in their city.
I just feel like I'm trapped in a crossroad, and it's like anything can be a possibility.
Yeah. Damn, man, that's been a pretty rough episode. Yeah.
Well, guys, that's the end of this episode because it was an interesting one. I'm still dumbfounded by it. You guys can comment down below what you think of it, because what your theories are. And yeah, that's a wrap. See you guys in the next one.